All right, diving in, ready to explore entrepreneurship. You guys sent in this article, Get Rich as an Entrepreneur, or Die Trying 955.
Yeah.
And wow, that title.
Intense.
It grabs you, right? Gets you thinking, okay, am I really ready for this? But before we even get there, let's break it down.
Yeah.
Comrade Biokpo Diali George, he really gets into what makes an entrepreneur, starting with mindset. And honestly, we hear that mindset is everything, everywhere, and it can sound...
Yeah, a little cliche.
But the way he explains it, it really clicks.
I think he bangs it down to earth, using that Henry Ford quote. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That one.
It's not some, magical thinking, right?
So it's not just like, I'm going to be a millionaire.
And poof.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
No, it's more to it.
It is about believing you can learn and adapt, Keep going when things get tough.
Yeah, like that grit. And he says, figure out your why. Like, why do you even want to do this?
That's huge.
Write it down, look at it every day. So when you're like, ugh, should I hit snooze?
Exactly. Like, why am I doing this?
Remember that anchor.
Yeah, because that initial excitement, it fades.
When you're in the thick of it, building the business day after day.
And that why.
It becomes your fuel.
Takes us right to the next point, digging deeper into that.
Oh, for sure. It's like the heart of the whole thing.
And he brings in Simon Sinek.
Oh, yeah.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Classic.
It's got to resonate with you and then with whoever you're trying to reach.
Right. It's what makes you, you.
Like for me, when I was starting out, it was wanting to help people see the world differently. That kept me going.
Powerful stuff.
Really,
that sense of purpose.
Pushes you through those challenges.
Keeps you going, helps you make decisions, the right ones.
Aligned with that purpose, yeah.
And then there's the flip side, the thing nobody likes to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Failure.
Or the big F word.
But it's part of the journey. It is. You can't avoid it.
The article's not afraid of it. It's like...
He reframes it.
Exactly. That Thomas Edison quote, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
So it's about the learning.
Changing your perspective.
You mess up, you analyze it, and try again.
Each one's a step towards success.
Like, remember the Post-it note?
Oh, yeah. What about it?
The adhesive, it was a failure at first.
Right.
Not strong enough. But then someone's like, wait a minute.
And boom, the Post-it's born.
Exactly.
Wow. So even failures
can be the start of something amazing.
Gotta see the potential.
And then to really make it, you need...
connections.
He says your network is your net worth, but...
It's deeper than just, business cards, right?
More than just collecting contacts.
It's relationships, being genuinely interested in other people, helping out.
Building each other up.
Yeah. Your community, the people who get it.
They support you, inspire you, and sometimes...
They give you that tough love.
Which you need.
Sometimes.
He even says set goals for it.
Like, meet 3 new people a week.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone.
Speaking of which... let's talk risk.
That's a big one.
The article is very clear. Calculated risks. Not just jumping into anything.
Knowing when to hold back.
Right. Warren Buffett said, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing.
So, research's not about being reckless.
It's about being smart.
He says, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen?
Makes you think.
I learned that one the hard way. Invested in a friend's idea, no research. Costly lesson.
Yeah, be thorough.
And then... got to get the word out.
Marketing.
Your megaphone, he calls it.
You could have the best thing ever.
But if nobody knows...
what's the point?
And there are so many tools now.
It's amazing. Social media, creating content, even AI, like ChatGPT he mentions.
Makes it feel more accessible.
It's like Richard Branson said, a business has to be involving, it has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative instincts.
I love that.
Fun.
So let's say you're into making jewelry.
Instagram, Pinterest, that's your playground.
Makes sense.
Software, maybe LinkedIn, writing articles,
Find the right channel.
But before we get carried away, gotta talk about
The long game.
patience.
He's realistic. Building wealth, it takes time.
This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, it's a marathon.
Easy to get discouraged.
Which is why you need persistence.
That's stick-to-itness.
Jeff Bezos said, I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is not trying.
Taking that leap.
Even when it's scary.
Better to try and fail than to wonder what if.
And to keep going, set small goals, celebrate the wins,
A little victory.
keep you fueled.
It's like anything challenging. Running a marathon, learning a language, you'll hit walls.
But you gotta push through.
Remember your why.
We've covered so much.
Just the start, though. Join us for part 2. We'll get even more practical, real steps to turn those dreams into reality.
Back again, diving deeper into making those entrepreneurial dreams happen.
Yeah, getting down to business. Part 1 was all about the foundation.
Mindset, the big picture.
Now we get practical.
Comrade Biokpo Diali George, he doesn't just leave us hanging.
No, he gives us tools.
And a big one is the business plan.
Your roadmap.
So you're not just wandering around hoping for the best.
It's like having a destination.
And a way to get there.
You think through everything. Who are your customers? How will you make money? What's your marketing plan?
Even the financial stuff, projections, all of that.
It takes that passion, that idea.
It's real.
A viable business.
And if you want investors,
it shows you're serious.
like, hey, I've thought this through.
Not just some fly-by-night operation.
Adds credibility.
Big time.
Okay, so we've got the roadmap, the business plan.
But what about your image?
Right, the brand.
That's how people see you.
More than just a logo.
Oh, it's the whole vibe.
What do people feel when they interact with your brand?
What's the story you're telling?
It's got to be consistent.
Everywhere. Your website, social media, even your packaging.
Like those big brands, Apple, Nike.
They've nailed it.
I have.
Takes time, but it's worth it.
Okay, plan, brand. Now what about the actual product? The service?
The heart of it all.
Gotta be good.
It has to solve a problem, fulfill a need.
You can market all you want.
But if your product's no good,
It'll flop.
and this goes back to your why,
That passion.
if you're truly solving a problem.
That shows.
Now let's be real, starting a business,
It takes money.
yeah, that's a hurdle for a lot of people.
The article talks about different options.
Bootstrapping, that's using your own savings.
Starting small.
Being resourceful,
You have control.
but you gotta be careful with those funds.
Then there are loans.
Can be risky.
You gotta be sure you can pay it back.
And then there's venture capital.
That's the dream for some.
High growth potential, strong team, unique idea,
It's competitive.
big time, but if you get it,
It's a game changer.
like a rocket boost.
So you've got the money, you've launched. Now how do you get customers?
That's the big question.
The article really digs into marketing and sales.
It's ongoing. You can't just launch and wait.
Gotta keep at it.
Engage with your audience, build those relationships, show them why they need what you have,
It's a bridge.
connecting you to them.
And that strong brand we talked about,
It helps.
people trust you more.
They recognize you.
So marketing, sales, always hustling, but to stay ahead.
You got to keep learning.
He's big on that.
The business world, it's constantly changing.
Like a river. Gotta keep moving.
He says, be like a shark.
Sharks gotta keep swimming.
Entrepreneurs got to keep innovating.
I love that.
So embrace technology. He talks about digital marketing, e-commerce,
The online world, it's essential now,
no matter what you're doing.
but it can feel overwhelming.
So many platforms, tools, strategies.
Where do you start?
Find mentors, take workshops, read books, never stop learning.
Lifelong journey.
That's what makes it exciting.
Challenges keep you on your toes.
Speaking of challenges, making decisions,
Tough calls.
weighing options, risks.
He says, trust your gut.
But do your research too. Get advice.
Be ready to change course.
There's no crystal ball.
But you build confidence over time.
Experience, learning from mistakes
Having a good team.
to bounce ideas off of.
And that brings us back to leadership.
He's big on that.
Being a visionary.
Inspiring your team.
It's more than just giving orders.
Create a shared vision. Empower your people. Collaborate.
Lead by example.
Show passion, support. Celebrate together. Learn from the tough times together.
And it goes back to mindset.
Full circle.
Your energy as a leader.
It sets the tone
Amazing things can happen.
when everyone's on the same page.
So we've talked practical steps, building a business, but also the mindset, the leadership.
The whole package.
What's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this?
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, entrepreneurship. It's your own journey.
Finding what works for you.
Pushing yourself, learning, growing, no guarantees.
But the rewards.
Could be huge.
Comrade Biokpo Diali George, he did it.
You went from that 9 to 5.
Maybe we can too.
Maybe so. And he ends with that Mark Twain quote.
Oh yeah.
20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do.
So take the leap.
Embrace the unknown.
See where it takes you. We're back and ready to wrap up this deep dive. Really put all this amazing advice from get rich as an entrepreneur or die trying 9 to 5 into action, you know?
Yeah, let's make it happen.
We've talked about mindset, marketing, the team, giving back. It's a lot.
It is, but now let's focus.
Get specific.
And the article, it keeps coming back to innovation.
Which isn't just inventing something brand new.
Right, it's more like always improving.
Staying ahead of the game.
Comrade Biokpo Diali George, he's all about that. Being curious, always learning, trying new things.
And not being afraid to change direction if something's not working.
Exactly, the business world.
It's fast-paced.
He says, think of it like a river.
You can't just stand still.
You get swept away.
You gotta adapt, be willing to grow.
He even uses this analogy, be like a shark.
Oh, I like that one.
Sharks, they gotta keep moving to breathe.
And entrepreneurs gotta keep innovating.
To survive, to thrive.
So how do we do that? Where do we even start?
He talks a lot about technology.
Makes sense.
Digital marketing, e-commerce, those are key.
Whatever your business is.
You need to be online.
Website, social media, selling your products.
Be where your customers are.
But it's a lot to keep up with.
So many platforms, so many changes.
It can feel overwhelming.
That's why he says, never stop learning.
Right. Invest in yourself.
Sign mentors, go to workshops, read, immerse yourself in it all.
The learning never ends.
And that's part of what makes it so cool.
It's a challenge.
Keeps you on your toes.
And then there's decision making.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Do or don't, yes or no, those tough calls.
Gotta weigh your options, assess the risks.
He says, trust your gut.
But also, do your homework.
Get advice. Be ready to change course.
You'll never know everything for sure.
But you learn to trust yourself more over time.
Experience helps.
Making those mistakes.
Having a good team to help you think it through.
Which brings us back to leadership.
He's really passionate about that.
Being a visionary.
Inspiring your team.
Not just telling people what to do.
It's so much more.
Got to create that shared vision, empower your people, work together.
Lead by example.
Show them your passion, support them, celebrate the wins.
And learn from the losses together.
And all of that, it comes back to mindset, right?
So it all connects.
Your energy as a leader, it sets the tone.
When everyone's aligned, amazing things can happen.
So we've covered a ton in this deep dive, practical steps to build a business, but also the mindset, leadership, teamwork.
The whole journey.
What's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from all this?
I think it's that entrepreneurship. It's not a formula. It's your own path.
It's personal.
You got to find what works for you, what you're passionate about, and just keep going.
Never give up.
No guarantees, but the rewards, they can be life-changing.
Comrade Biokpo Diali George, he went from working that 9 to 5
to running his own show.
If he can do it, maybe we can too.
Maybe so. And he ends with that Mark Twain quote.
The one about regret.
20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do.
So take that chance, even if it's scary.
You never know what you might achieve.
And that's it for our deep dive, but this is just the start of your journey.
It is.
If you're feeling inspired, share your biggest takeaway with us. Use #DeepDiveEntrepreneur on social media.
We'd love to hear from you.
Who knows, maybe your next big idea is just around the corner.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep up.